but it did have tie downs on the edges. Well, that was unfortunate. Welcome back. It's been a little while since I made that video on the Bushwakker awning, so I figured it was time to do a long-term review on the Bushwakker awning. So as you can see, I have got rid of the Bushwakker awning and I have replaced it with this fine AluCab awning that is fitted to the LandCruiser behind me. Was that a good idea? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that now. There are some really great things about this AluCab awning. The fact that the tie downs are actually integrated, let me just show you here, into the awning itself. They stay permanently attached and they're nice heavy duty straps and not ropes that are going to tangle up everywhere. That's really, really neat. I love the way that the legs actually attach into these permanent fixtures here. And you don't need to worry about using Velcro for those, which is really, really good. Unfortunately though, when you pack it away, it does have these really annoying Velcro straps that get caught up on everything, and the buckles that were on the Bushwakker were just way better than these Velcro straps. One of the other nice features with the AluCab is this little swing away hole here that allows you to drain the rain off the top of the awning and not have it pull up there. The only downside with that is, well, there's actually two. The first one is it doesn't work very well. I still get heaps of pulling on this, but I think that might be to do with the way that it's tensioning. I'll have to look into that. But the other thing is that on all of the other AluCabs that I've seen online, they had a patch up here that protected the awning from wear, and this does not have that. I've also noticed that after only using this about 10 to 20 times, I have a wear mark and a hole up here, which, when we talk about how much you pay for these awnings, is extraordinarily disappointing. But enough about the AluCab for now. We'll talk a bit more about that later on. Why did I get rid of that Bushwakker awning? It was less than half the price of this AluCab and it actually had a lot of things going for it. Well, unfortunately, my particular Bushwakker had 3 major failures in a very short period of time. It was a Chinese product. I knew that when I bought it. The bag broke the second time that I used it. The zipper actually stopped working. And then the brackets broke, and when I looked closely at the brackets, there wasn't very good penetration in the welds, and to be honest, with the load that was being put on that awning and on those brackets from the weight of that, it really wasn't engineered strongly enough. And Bushwakker agreed. They said they were going to send out 3 Australian made brackets to replace the 2 brackets that they supplied originally. While I was waiting for those brackets though, coming from Queensland to WA was going to take a fairly long amount of time. I welded them back up myself and braced them and put the awning back onto the car, which was a pain in the neck. And once I got it up there, I opened it up to test it, and one of the main structural beams on the awning snapped right at the weld, and that was pretty much the end of the awning. It was at that point that I decided that awning was no longer for me. But to Bushwakker's credit, they did give me a full refund on that awning with no questions asked, and they even organised freight to pick it up and send it back from WA to Queensland. So I have to give Bushwakker full credit on their service there. They also seemed very keen to improve on their product, and when I said that I'd bought an AluCab, he was very complimentary and said that it had a lot of years of R&D on him and that they were a good product. So what was good about the Bushwakker versus the AluCab? Well, the Bushwakker actually seemed to be bigger. When you have a look at my drawer system here, which was made by Black Label in Perth, and I will be doing some videos about the Black Label drawers at a later date. But if you have a look, the awning does not cover the end of the table anymore. It actually sticks out probably about, well, that far. And that is super annoying. When it's raining, I have to put the table away, I have to put all the things away that are stored under here. It's a nightmare. The Bushwakker actually covered that perfectly. So the Bushwakker was a larger awning, but the geometry seems to be what makes that happen. The arms seem to go in different ways. I'm not even sure. I've tried to look at it. When I measured them up before I put them on the car, they were actually the same length packed away, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But that is a huge downfall on the AluCab. I also have a feeling, and I haven't measured it because I don't have the two awnings anymore, but I'm pretty sure that the Bushwakker actually came out further on the side as well. So the Bushwakker didn't have the leg that props up to make the water run off. It just had little tie downs on the edges that you could put ropes onto, and even though that would be a more painful setup and more time consuming, it would have worked a lot better than this does currently with the pooling of water issues. Now, because I'm using awning walls on this, I wanted the 3 legs rather than just having the single leg that comes with both of these awnings. Now, with the Bushwakker actually sent me out 2 legs for free when I ordered it that I could put on. They cost $100 for the Alu-Cab, and I had to order them in, and then I had to drive back to Bunbury to get them. So that was probably about a $130 exercise. The other place where Bushwakker really just brought it home was the installation and mounting of the awning. Even though the brackets were terrible and ended up breaking, the Alu-Cab is a nightmare to install. You've got all of these holes along here, and you can see how I've marked some of them, and you have to try and measure and or guess sort of a little bit where it's going to be, and then you have to drill holes in the back of the awning cover. It's really not nice, and it's really at least a 2-person job to fit it. It would actually be better with 3. It's heavy as, and you're trying to line it all up, get bolts through. It's really not good. Not to mention, if you want to buy the genuine Alu-Cab brackets for the Rhino rack, they're over $300 just for the brackets. So I've made my own, and I don't know if they're strong enough, so I'm probably going to have to buy the $300 brackets as well, which is crazy. So by the time you've spent $100 plus on some legs, and you spend your $300 on the brackets, add that to the $2,100 recommended retail for this awning, and you're talking a huge amount of money compared to the $900 for the Bushwakker. So really, I'm more than a little bit disappointed. I'm actually very disappointed with the Alu-Cab. I'm disappointed with the cost, but I'm also disappointed with the fact that it's torn and ripped so easily. I don't even know how that's happened. I'm just using it as intended. And that brings me to another thing that really is quite silly with the Alu-Cab setup. This here is a winch strap hook that I have put onto a buckle that came with the Alu-Cab. You can see here, this is the buckle for the Alu-Cab. Now, I had to rivet that on myself. It didn't come like that. They just give you the buckle and you got to sort it out yourself, and that's because it's a stupid system. It comes with this kind of sail track loopy kind of, it doesn't work. It's designed for the Alu-Cab rooftop tent, and I don't have a rooftop tent. Most people who buy these probably don't have a rooftop tent. Trying to hook this onto my roof rack, the geometry wasn't going to work. So I actually had to steal the idea that Bushwakker used. They used the hook with a rope. I just used the end of a winch strap. But that took me ages to get that all set up. Whereas with the Bushwakker, it was already done. I just hooked it on and I was there in a matter of seconds. So what do I think after all of this? Well, I think I've blown a lot of money on this Alu-Cab, and I think I'm going to have to spend a lot more to get it right. The Bushwakker, some great ideas, but the quality just wasn't there. And my biggest fear with going with one of the intermediate brands is that, am I just getting some other Chinese product like the Bushwakker and paying $500 more for it? But what I have seen, and what I think is very interesting, and I would like to see one up close, is the Bushwakker True Blue. Now, the Bushwakker True Blue is supposedly a wholly Australian-made version of the Bushwakker 270 Extreme. Now, if that's the case, that could be a very interesting product. And if you are looking at a 270-degree awning, I would highly recommend having a look at the Bushwakker 270-degree True Blue awning. And I haven't seen one, so I can't recommend it. But the fact that it's got super peg aluminium Australian-made poles, it's got Australian welded and made frame, and it's got Australian canvas on it, that might be a really good product. And I think it's around $1,800–$1,900 that they've been advertised for. And if that's the case, I would almost certainly buy that over the AluCab. So there you go, that's my thoughts on the AluCab versus the Bushwakker 270° Extreme awnings. I hope you research your awnings well, and if you've got any information about other brands that you think would be better than either of these two, please comment below so that other people can get some ideas. I know there's a heap of brands out there. I looked at a lot of them myself before I went down this road. To be honest, I had a dummy split, that's why I bought the AluCab. I thought, you know what, I'm done with things breaking, I just want something that's not going to break, and there you go, the AluCab's got a hole in it, so as far as I'm concerned that's broken. So if you've got any other suggestions, write a comment below, tell me if you think I've missed anything, and please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.